Another one of the president's radical appointments, and that is his former safe school czar, Kevin Jennings. Now, Jennings was the Assistant Deputy Secretary of Education for the Department's Office of Safe and Drug-Free Schools. Now, starting back in 2009, right here on this very program, we highlighted the reasons why he should be removed from his position, reporting what the mainstream media refused to tell the American people. Now, Jennings is a former teacher who advocates promoting homosexuality in schools and has openly admitted to doing drugs in the past. He founded Gleason, the gay, lesbian, straight education network. He was also accused of not reporting an incident where a student told him about having sex with a much older adult. Now, Jennings remained in his post until 2011, making you question not only the administration's judgment, but just, well, what they were really looking at and whether they were looking after your kids. Joining me now with reaction, Iowa Congressman Steve King, also a staunch opponent of the Jennings appointment back in 2009. Congressman, we're going through, we got Holdren, and we've got Coe, and we've got Jennings, and we've got Eric Holder, and Van Jones, boom, 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 boom. Some of the most radical people. Is this guy one of the more radical appointments of the president?
I would say between Van Jones and Kevin Jennings, it would be a close call on who's the most radical. There are a lot of radicals there, Sean. There's no question about that. But this is a unique kind of a radical. This is a radical individual that has invested much of his adult life in promoting the concept of homosexuality, especially focused on our school children. Yep. And he's written 6 books that advocated this, and he has written about his drug abuse and never apologized for that. And so we've got a man that is given the charge of safe and drug-free schools, and it looks to me like you picked somebody with a profile that would be anything but safe and drug-free schools.
All right, and he also wrote the foreword for the book, The Queering of Elementary Education, Safe Schools Are. Tell us about the incident that involved an underage student and an older adult, and he was informed about this.
Well, Sean, this came to light a number of ways, but in one way, the tape is out on the Internet, a speech that Kevin Jennings gave in Iowa in 1997. He told the story of Brewster, a 15-year-old who had a sexual relationship with a much older man at a bus stop or bus station someplace in Massachusetts. Now, Kevin Jennings was a mandatory reporter as a teacher. It's the law in Massachusetts. He'd be required to report that narrative, and he failed to do so. That's failing to comply with the law in Massachusetts, and his only advice that he gave, and he gave that advice in the speech, was, I hope you used a condom.
It's pretty, you almost can't make this up. Safe schools are. That this story is out there and exists. Let me give another example here as we continue to vet the president's judgment in the radical nature of the appointments that he's had. All right, this is from the Washington Times, and he said one of the people that has always inspired him is a guy by the name of Harry Hay. In the article it says the tale gets even more troubling. It goes on to say, on October the 25th, 1997, at a conference of the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network, Mr. Jennings stated that one of the people that has always inspired him is Harry Hay. And the late Harry Hay was a gay rights activist, most notorious for supporting the group NAMBLA, the North American Man-Boy Love Association. And in 1983, speaking in support of NAMBLA, the guy that, quote, has always inspired this appointment by the president, claimed that if parents and friends of gays are truly friends of gays, they would know from their gay kids the relationship with an older man is precisely what 13, 14, 15-year-old kids need more than anything else in the world. They don't need God. They don't need to learn about, their country and get a good education. No. And you wonder, how did these radicals get appointed? How did these people with these a 9/11 truther, an avowed communist in the administration, how does this happen?
It's anybody's guess unless you look into the background of President Obama and you look at his associations. I don't know if you can name a counterculturalist group that he doesn't have a champion on his side, and all the way from Reverend Wright down to Kevin Jennings, and the list of these people goes on. Van Jones is another one that you mentioned, but he's built an association with people like that are just plain radicals, and NAMBLA, and Harry Hay was an admitted pedophile, and they put him on the front magazine magazine of the North American Man-Boy Love Association magazine and linked him on the head on their website, on their home page. And there's no way that Kevin Jennings did not know about what Harry Hay was and advocated in favor of him as always being inspired by Harry Hay. That should have been enough. It would have scared George Bush off. It should have scared off Barack Obama.
All right, unbelievable. Thank you, Congressman. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Sean.
What a great American panel we got up next.